Hey, my beautiful people. Welcome back to Glow Up with Nisi, where I talk about glowing up, your self worth, style, and leveling in your life while being bougie on a budget. I'm your host, Nisi, and get ready for this episode. Before we dive in, here is the glow up affirmation for this week. My glow up begins within. Last week, I was not feeling like myself, and I'm gonna tell you what happened. I was feeling really down, but I guess because I was hitting that luteal phase, and us women, you guys know what I'm talking about, the week before your period, I felt so insecure with how I looked. I didn't like looking in the mirror. I didn't like anything about myself. So your girl was on IG, right? And I shoot a lot of content where I do my skincare routine either the morning or nighttime. So you're gonna see the raw, uncut of how my face looked without a filter. And I'll never forget this guy posted a comment under my video and called me chopped cheese. And I'm from New York. So I'm saying to myself, he calling me chopped cheese. Yo, this man was calling me ugly. And he caught me on the worst day. Like, honestly, I recovered from being a very insecure as when I was younger, but it was that day I felt like really insecure. Not about looks, I just didn't like how I looked. I don't know if it was the hairstyle, I don't know if my face was chubby, I don't know anything, but I just felt very insecure. And when he called me that, he got me at my lowest point ever. And this is what I had to speak in regards to when you're glowing up and talk about your inner glow up versus your outer glow up. Because when it comes to inner glow up, you really have to focus on your past trauma. With me personally, I got bullied a lot as a kid, especially growing up in New York, and especially being dark skinned and chubby. I was called gorilla when I was growing up. And if I had liked a guy or like a little boy, he would say, "Oh my God, no, you're not my type." And unfortunately, that does hit on your self-esteem as a child. So when you get older, if you do not heal those past trauma and deal with it, this is where it affects you when you start to go out in the world, when you actually meet different guys or you have a friend group, etc. And this is what I want to discuss. The main thing I want to discuss is when you are glowing up, there is your inner glow up and there is your outer glow. That healing that I had to do was a lot for me. And as I got older, especially when I started to hit my mid 20s and I was really accomplishing stuff in my life, granted, I did gain weight. But when I was really starting to accomplish goals and really focus on myself and myself personally, this is when I started to feel like I'm that girl. I started to gain more confidence. I started to be around people who wanted to be around me. And you know what's the funniest thing is I actually started to learn within myself that not everybody is going to find me attractive. I understand that. As long as you do not disrespect me, I'm good. But once you disrespect me, then that's a problem. And that was the past trauma that I had to deal with being called names as a child to help me grow into the woman that I've become today. This is why I'm so big on creating topic regarding glowing up, having confidence, your style, self-worth, is because where was that when I needed when I was a child? You know what I mean? Like, granted, when you try to tell your parents, especially Caribbean parents, yeah, man, customo, yeah, that's not going to do anything to your self-esteem. But honestly, literally, as I continued to observe that and understand that, that's why I feel like it's so important for me to have a voice because of people that grew up like me or young girls that are going through that. I want you to know that do not listen to that. Heal that past trauma and move on with your life. Once you understand to yourself that, and I noticed this may not be the best thinking, but literally I told myself not everybody's going to find me attractive, and that's literally okay. And once that's when I learned to understand it and cope with that, I felt more better about myself and I had more confidence about myself. I made sure that any style that I do, it fits and complements my skin tone, my body shape, hairstyles that fits my round face, earrings, makeup. I started to focus on what I believe deemed as I look good and I look pretty, and that's what would go out into the world when other people view me. You know what I mean? Second, I had to focus on creating boundaries. And this was a big thing because when you are growing up, especially me, I grew up with my close family. I had to learn how to create boundaries. And when I mean creating boundaries, it's more so focused on if it's not something that you want to do or you want to say no to, it's perfectly fine to say no to. I've learned within myself that I need to learn how to start creating boundaries because I was grown up to be a people pleaser. So when I was getting made fun of as a little kid, I wasn't really answering back as much as I should have. And I was letting it affect me. And I was actually letting people think that that's okay. And people pleasing was trying to be everybody's friend. And maybe they weren't the best person for me as a friend. And saying yes to everything when I want to say no to. And when I learned how to create boundaries is when it helps me better financially, mentally, spiritually, everything overall. And this is why I recommend the book so much. Setting Boundaries, Find Peace. Guide to Reclaim Yourself is a book that I would recommend to anyone. I have the book right here, right now. I have it open. And I just want to give you guys some quick things that it talked about in the book that helped you. It goes over what are boundaries, the cost of not having healthy boundaries, why don't we have healthy boundaries, the 6 types of boundaries, what boundary violations look like, identify and communicate your boundaries, blurred line, make it plain, trauma and boundaries, what are you doing to honor your boundaries. Then the biggest thing was part 2, because all of that was part 1. This is how you do the work of setting boundaries. It talks about setting boundaries with family, your romantic relationships, friends, work, social media, technology, and then it goes in now what in terms of how can you continue to level up and grind moving forward. And there's also self-assessment questions and commonly asked questions. And when I say this book, I would recommend this book to anyone when it comes to creating those boundaries because those are very vital within your globe journey process. Another book I would definitely recommend to help you with your inner self is The 4 Agreements by Don Miguel Ruiz, where he talked about the 4 agreements. Be impeccable with your word. Don't take anything personally, and I'm still working on this. Don't make assumptions, and always do your best. And when you're trying to elevate and level up yourself, you have to learn how to fix your inner self. Not even fix, work on your inner self to improve, to evolve, and to grind. This is why they always say it's important to focus on your discipline while having your motivation. You can always be motivated, but once you have a set, sewn discipline, that's what helps you to continue to gain that confidence, to loving yourself, to feeling very great about yourself, and not letting anybody talk down on you. Now, today, as a woman that I am now, especially now that I'm more in my 30s, I don't care how people comments affect me. I don't care if you don't find me attractive. I don't care if you don't like me as a person. I don't care how you view me right now. The only thing I ask is you respect me and keep it moving. So when he posted that comment and called me chop cheese under my profile, I wanted to violate him. And when I mean violate him, I wanted to talk so much stuff to him, like literally I wanted to make him cry. And I was actually going to go on his page and start violating. But then I said to myself, what if in the future I look back at that and I realize in my time, why did I stoop down to that level? Why? And literally, this is what I had to realize within myself that, hey, Shanice, you are working on yourself and you are better than this. And do not let somebody, because they're insecure with how they are, project that onto me. And that's what I learned to do. Now, with all that inner glow up, of course, there's an outer glow up that many people focus on. And one thing that I did that literally helped me within my globe journey process is I started finding clothes that showed the image that I wanted to portray to others in terms of I wanted to dress more chic. So I bought outfits that dress more chic. Granted, my friends make fun of me feeling like, oh, you're giving corporate during the day and happy hour after. It is what it is. But I just feel like chic just looks so nice and it complements my body so nice. So that's why I find clothes that complement my body. And I realize specifically, I don't like skinny jeans anymore. And I hope I'm not the only one. Skinny jeans is not the vibe that I'm on. I do not like skinny jeans. I do not like them at all. I hated how my body looks in them to the point that all my jeans now have to be like the wide leg jeans or the straight leg jeans or tapered jeans, like tapered leg. And that's what I found out. It also does not look good on my body type. As an apple shape, I should be staying away from skinny jeans. So now I want to fight everybody that had me wearing skinny jeans back in the days. But apart from that, The next thing I did was start finding the colors that complement my skin. Me, I love black. I'm a black person, okay? White, maybe neutral. But I had to expand my wardrobe a little bit, and I realized like hot pink or pink looks nice on me, yellow looks nice on me, a nice blue looks nice on me. And when I'm feeling sexy, red. So there's so many different things that I had to do to find myself that helped me with my outer glow up. And it will definitely help you because I feel like once you find clothes that complement your body type, your style that you want to dress, and find colors that match you, the only thing you have to do is continue to accessorize your clothes, which I usually do. I always get gold accessories or silver accessories, and I also always have the basics. I tell anybody when it comes to these accessories, have the basics. In terms of if you're a silver or gold girly, make sure you have a nice pair of gold sandals or heels. Same thing with silver, and handbag to match it along with your jewelry. It could be your belt, it could be a hat, any type of thing. Make sure you always have everything that can mesh together. Now, when it comes to loving your body, you have to love your body regardless of how many pounds you are, even if you're overweight, underweight, if you have something about yourself that you do not like. Always understand the importance of loving your body. And this goes back into your inner glow up. Because granted, you may have past trauma where you were made fun of because of a certain look. Just always try to love your body. I say that all the time. Like, yes, you could get surgery, and I'm never against anyone getting surgery, but the importance is love your body. I see a lot of people that don't like their nose. Me personally, I had to grow to like my nose, and I realized that if I had a smaller nose, because my face is so round, it won't look good at all. If I had a smaller pointy nose, it would not look good. And I had to learn that to really love myself in that process. When it comes to my body, I don't like how my stomach looks, but I had to learn to say, okay, I had to cut back on this or find stuff that hides it and accentuates my waist because I am an apple shape. So this is something that I always preach to people. But yes, if you could get that surgery done, just make sure you get a safe surgeon that actually has good reviews and you do your very extensive research, and don't let anybody force you to get the surgery. You know what I mean? If you want to get the surgery, that's perfectly fine. Don't let anybody force you to get the surgery, and make sure it's a surgeon that you actually trust, has great reviews, you are able to have the aftercare that's needed, and you're able to have somebody that's going to help you throughout that process. I'm all for you getting your body done. Let's do it safely. That's all I ask. Because I it's so sad hearing stories about people that pass away because a doctor in a hole in the wall or people inject stuff in their body. I always have this slogan: once you look good, you feel good. And that's why it talks about dressing for your body type, dressing up when you go out, even if it's to a store or whatever. Once you feel good, you will look good. Once you look good, you will feel good. And that's a great way to hype yourself up. Yes, granted, it's some sort of imposter syndrome, but I feel like imposter syndrome works for situations like this. I don't mean people that are out here committing fraud. No, 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 no. Imposter syndrome works is when you try to hype yourself up. So let's say, granted, you had low self-esteem when you were younger, and you have imposter syndrome now as you get older to try to boost and gain that confidence. Over time, you are going to have that high confidence. Over time, you are going to feel good. And over time, it's going to help you that is actually something that's true, because that imposter syndrome definitely helped you up. It works in certain instances. Now, let's talk about shifting your mindset from negative to positive. And as I continue to get older, I learned to try to speak more positively about myself, in terms of like when I was telling you guys how the guy called me chopped cheese and he caught me at his lowest when I was feeling insecure. I still thought of it in a positive way, because let me tell you why. I said to myself, I don't want to be portrayed as somebody that always has to clap back at things. And I feel like some people always have to clap back, clap back. I don't have to do that, because what if I get a big brand? And what if I had, in that moment, how I felt when he called me chopped cheese and I was going at him? What if I had threatened him? What if I had said some things that I shouldn't have said? And then what if now in the future when I have a brand and they go back to that and they see those and I get canceled or I get deemed as negative? So I'm thinking about my brand. I'm thinking about my future. I'm thinking about me as a career woman. I'm thinking about me that if I have kids, I don't want that to be shown. And I thought in a positive way. I said to myself, wow, like I'm really evolving, I'm really growing. Because if this was back in the days when I was on Twitter talking crap, he would have got his ass cussed out. I would have said some things to him that he probably wouldn't even have thought about the way I was going at. And I turned that from a negative to a positive because I shift my mindset. And I learned to shift my mindset. You know why? Because my faith in God is so strong that it has always helped me to find a positive out of every negative. I'll never forget when I got into a car accident and I had a Nissan. I was the first owner in it, and I love this car dearly. And I got into a car accident. This older man hit me from the back, and I hit the car in front, and my engine shifted, and my car was deemed total. And I complained, I cried, and I was upset. Instead of me being negative about that situation, I turned that into a positive. You know why? Because during that time when I did not have a car, I was able to cut down debt. Because remember, I told you guys I was 20K in debt. So that helped me to cut down debt. That helped me to save my money. And that helped me to practice better money management. That I was able to actually buy myself my own place. Yeah, in the next few years. But all of that is what I'm saying to yourself, that was a negative whole thing going on. But the way my mindset changed to be more positive, that's how I started to think about things. I always try to find a positive in things because I feel like when you have that faith and that trust, you just know it's going to work out. And it goes back to all the past drama that I've dealt with, and me creating boundaries and having that discipline is what helped me shift into having a better mindset moving forward. And this is where it goes into realizing your self-worth and being around the people that embrace it. I feel like we have to embrace our self-worth more, especially when we have healed from those past trauma. We have created our boundaries and we focus on our discipline and having motivation, because self-worth is very important. We have to value ourselves. We have to trust ourselves. We have to love ourselves. We have to embrace ourselves. So when I tell you guys, when glowing up is not all about your outer image, it's very much about your inner image. It's what you are going to tolerate, what are you not going to tolerate. It's about making sure that nobody's going to abuse you, nobody's going to lie to you, cheat on you. You have to know your self-worth. And I feel like once you get and heal from your past trauma, and you create those boundaries and you set discipline, that's what's definitely going to help you to move on to be the best version of yourself within this glow up training process. Because me, I will let you know from now, the people that I was hanging with when I was in my teens, like late teens to early 20s, those are people that can't catch me hanging out today. Because I know my self-worth. And I know there's things that I will accept and I won't accept. And there were things that they did that I should have never accepted. But now that I know and I'm better and I'm at a level that I am right now, I know my self-worth. I know there's some things that I'm just not going to get into. I know there's some argument that people can't step to me about. I know my self-worth. I know how much I value myself, and I know how much I care for myself because I worked on myself. I've dealt with not loving myself as I should have. So now that I gain that confidence of more loving myself, I know my self-worth. That's what nobody could step to me right now. And this is also why I say glowing up means much more than your makeup and money. Because makeup and money could definitely fix the outer part, but your inner part is something that you definitely have to work on. This is why there's certain songs that I always resonate with. Like Kanye, before he went crazy, All Falls Down. TLC, Waterfalls, one of my favorite Beyonce song, Haunted. Because all these songs express that we could do so much, but if we don't fix what's in us, overall, nothing will change. Literally, TLC, Don't Go Chasing Waterfalls, the whole music video was about her trying to get a whole breast implants because she was not happy with herself. And that's what it's trying to embrace. We need to embrace ourselves, and what features that we have to love it. Because how are we going to continue to level up and glow up if we're not loving what we have? And yes, granted, imposter syndrome does work. But if you don't put in the discipline, the motivation, and have consistency, is it really going to work for you? Literally, there's so many songs that discuss that, how we always talk about our beauty, but what about your inner beauty? What about your inner self? What about you glowing up? Makeup could fix so much. Like, makeup could literally fix so much. You could literally buy the $100,000 makeup to make sure your makeup is always on point. You could have the amount of money in the world, but if you don't feel good about your inner self, what's gonna happen? I'm telling you, we have to focus on our inner glow up so it reaches the level of our outer glow up so we can be the best versions of ourselves. I see so many people online and they're screaming to individuals, especially these young women or women, to focus on losing weight, do this, do that. I have not heard them even talk about your inner glow up. I haven't heard them talk about healing past traumas, creating boundaries, having motivation, having discipline, loving yourself. I haven't heard them talk about any of that. And I listen to a lot of glow up content. I listen to a lot of people on TikTok that talk about glowing up because I am very big on trying to find ways to level up, even if my finances, my career, my life, everything overall. And why is it that's something that's always missing? And now this goes back to the glow up affirmation for this week. My glow up begins within. So reflect on how your mindset has changed for this year. Screenshot this and tag me, Niecy's World, NIECEYYSWORLD, on Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube. Don't forget to follow the show so you'll never miss me discussing more about glowing up. Keep growing and keep glowing. Bye.